Remember the anti-Rohingya petition that we talked about just the other day? Yeah, last time I checked, it had a total of, holy 354k signatures. But that's why they want to shut it down. So boops, when I say they, I mean Pusat Komas. In response to this petition that is still growing, by the way, at something like, God, like that's 54 ever since the last time I refreshed. And it's going up 4 per second, 3 per second, and it goes on and on. So it may be interesting for you to note that as of right now, the Remove Rohingya from Malaysia petition is now the 3rd most popular petition in Malaysia's change.org history. Damn, guess my fake solidarity petition can't compete. Anyway, they released a statement saying that the petition is filled with misinformation in a Facebook statement titled "Stop Facilitating Hateful Petitions, change.org." Wow. You think they'd actually create a change.org petition so people can sign it? Anyway, you know what the petition is about. It's about the Rohingya problem that Malaysia has been facing ever since our favorite political penunggangs decided to bring them into Malaysia in a way of Myanmar chasing these people out of the country. So, Komas, in its capacity to combat racism, empower marginalised communities and supporting indigenous peoples in Malaysia, decides to support this very much not indigenous group by saying that this petition appears to be in clear violation of change.org's community guidelines, noting rules against petitions that promote hate or discrimination by seeking to disadvantage or harm an entire group of people based on ethnic origin, national origin, or race, and petitions that contain misleading and unsubstantiated claims that distort public understanding of the Rohingya community in Malaysia. Wow, is there a change.org guideline about the Rohingya community specifically? Is that a misleading and unsubstantiated claim perhaps? Among other things, they talk about how, well, Rohingyas are only 0.4% of the Malaysian population, saying it's not right to say that there is a growing strain on resources, infrastructure, and social services. The narrative frames the Rohingya community as extractive while ignoring how they contribute to our community, concluding that misinformed hate should not be part of our Malaysian identity.
Informed hate how?
And change.org, you must remove the petition and make sure your platform is not used to facilitate hate, discrimination, or incitement against vulnerable communities. Wow. The paling social justice. You know, this is one of those things that sounds good on the outside, and I'm sure that a whole ton of people will come out and support this. Sure, it's a genuine human rights issue. Sure, Malaysia does have a DPP program now. But are you saying that all Malaysians of every race and religion are wrong in saying that Rohingya are not a part of our society and we have no
special
reason to welcome them into our society? I think it's already clear that Malaysia is not part of the 1951 Refugee Convention or the 1967
protocol.
But you also have to remember that the whole reason that these people are here is because of the meddling of our politicians who wanted to gain votes. I told you about the mother of all battles and how Najib and Hadi Awang basically tried to tunggang on the Rohingya issue only to end up losing the general election. And fine, even if it is pushing it, you can say that these people had a reason to come in anyway. It's correct for them to tunggang what? But hey, you think this asylum means you can do anything you want, is it, huh? Malaysia is their grandfather's country, is it? Serious poops, asylum is a conditional thing. You might remember how Amos Yee got asylum back in 2017, but then also how he got kicked out of the US after he got convicted of the felony of SA.
Not that Komas ever talked about the crimes or any of the problems caused by the Rohingya community in its piece at all.
But you know, as far as I can see it, the Komas statement is not really coherent. So Pusat Komas says that petitions should not be promoting hate or discrimination by seeking to disadvantage or harm an entire group of people. I mean, dude, the petition itself doesn't harm people. It is literally just saying what a lot of Malaysians have been thinking for a very long time. It's expressing a legit position harmful. Do you see any part of this petition where they are saying that Rohingyas are subhuman, do not deserve human rights or anything like that? No, not at all. Does it contain misleading and unsubstantiated claims? Not in my opinion. Is it wrong to say that an influx of Rohingya refugees is placing a growing strain on resources, infrastructure, and social services? Well, they say to date there is no data to substantiate the scale of this perception. But Sapoops, this is not about scale, it's about how it's a growing problem that is becoming worse. So I don't think Pusat Komas actually understands what they're saying. Either that or they are trying to hide it behind woke language. But since we're talking about scale anyway, we might as well think about how much it's actually costing us to have these people here. I mean, there are some estimates here featuring the fact that apparently there are 215,600 registered asylum seekers, of which about 60% are Rohingya. And if you think about what costs they actually put into our system, there's the fact that apparently under UNHCR they get a 50% healthcare subsidy. So with our health expenditure per capita figures, that's probably about 84 mil to 167 mil per year. And then of course then there's detention. So if you're saying that not a growing strain or you're saying that it doesn't exist, just because it's a small proportion, you are ignoring the fact that it's basically in the ballpark of a couple hundred million every single year from a country that is running out of Budi 95 subsidies for its own people, equivalent to multiple of Anwar Ibrahim's 100 million ringgit cookies to Palestine for a problem that we never needed to have. And coincidentally, yes, they may talk about how, oh, there shouldn't be any hate for the Rohingyas, but I guess they're conveniently ignoring the fact that recently there was a Rohingya that knocked over somebody on an RXZ. They're ignoring the Rohingya Korban incident where they were just casually dumping blood into drains. Or by the way, the actual rape incidents which the petition casually pointed out. While by the way, forgetting that sometimes people end up causing people to hate them because of their actual actions. It's true that not everybody in the community performs those actions, but are you saying that those actions didn't exist? Are you trying to basically say, hey, we should protect them no matter what because justice? Bruh. You know, Pusat Komas is supposed to protect the marginalized, and if you love them so much, then why don't you pay for them? Why don't you house them? Why are you asking everybody else in the country to actually do it for you when you're not even committing your own resources into doing that except trying to silence people's freedom of speech? Granted, petitions like this can have a slippery slope, and someone might then argue, what if somebody goes out and creates a petition against Malaysian citizens saying contract social, ban agama, azan? Oh wait, we already had stuff like that, and that was shut down. You know why? Cause that's actual discrimination on actual Malaysian citizens actually practicing their legit rights while serving as legal tax-paying contributors to Malaysian society who actually serve a role in this country because there's an infrastructure, because the country has made it possible for them to make a living, rather than this messed up situation where the country doesn't have any procedures but brought these people in just to entertain its political needs. You know, Pusat Komas, if you actually wanted to protect these people, then maybe what you should do is say that, look, if Malaysia doesn't want to actually put into place all these systems to integrate these people into our society, then maybe you shouldn't bring them in the first place. Isn't that a better use of your time, your energy? If you're not gonna help these people all the way to the end, and we have no desire to help all these people all the way to the end, then we shouldn't even start in the very first place.
Or does Komas want to say that we should bring more in?
And I don't care if all other countries out there complain about how we are not humanitarian, human rights. If they cared so much about human rights, then Singapore would not close its borders, Australia would not. So all these people can yaya papaya all they want about how Malaysia is not doing enough for refugees, but as long as you're not the one that's paying the bill in the first place, I don't think that you get to say anything at all. So to change the .org, I know that Pusat Komas wants to say that, oh, we should shut it down, but maybe before you do that, you should wait for these people to put up their own change.org petition, which it seems that they don't actually dare to. And to the people of Malaysia, these guys are trying to shut down your actual voice here for protecting your own country, which if you think about it is a legitimate thing. There can be a human rights issue, but at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, Can you protect every single Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street? Should it be your responsibility to do that? I think that we can do a lot more for the beggars in our society, the actual Malaysians who are suffering. And yes, we can have a lot more empathy out there. But I think that we really need to wake up our idea at the moment and ask ourselves, if we really do want to have empathy, do we want to be forced into it for people that we don't know, have no connection to us, and that are just draining out money that could be used to improve our lives in a situation where they are only being entertained because they suit the needs of some politicians from UMNO and PAS who want to, but not actually pay money to keep up these people? Well, I think the answer is probably no. But whatever your answer is, I don't think that there's a reason to be going out there and saying, hey, we need to shut down this voice, which by the way is growing more and more salient by the day. Unless you're saying that Malaysians are all gaslighting themselves, we should all be Muhibah, we should all accept every single person to be Malaysian, no matter what, no matter the consequences, no matter the conditions. Because if that's what you're saying, then I don't think that Malaysian citizenship means very much anyway, does it? Hashtag Jati Diri. But what's clear is, if you're gonna be in this society, you need to be able to contribute, and the country needs to make it so that you're able to contribute. It's not entirely the Rohingyas' faults, it's not entirely the Malaysian government's faults, but it's a combination of all of these things that's created a massively messed up system that one way of fixing, some people might say, is to kick out the Rohingyas. And rather than shutting down that dialogue, I think our society actually needs to engage with it. Anyways, the poops, they want to shut it down. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. That's all I have to say about that, and bye.